want to say hi, my name is Eric.
And I'm Nate.
All right. So our project's the BibApp. We're going to get this going right away. We have a lot to show you. So a little background about us. We come from University of Wisconsin-Madison. We both work at Wendt Library, which serves the College of Engineering. To keep it simple, here's a picture of our library, the way that we think about it. I also work quite closely with a new office that our libraries have set up called the Office of Scholarly Communication and Publishing. We launched last summer, or summer 2005, and we're trying to offer these services to our campus community. We want to be able to go out and provide ad hoc instruction on scholarly communication issues. We want to assist people with digital publishing projects. We want to be able to tell faculty members things about copyright that they do and do not know. We want to help them put items into the repository. And we have money to help accomplish this. We have a fund for open access publishing, and it's an amazing way to get faculty members to listen to you. Hey, money. So I suggest that if you're looking for stuff to do at your campus. As we get into the scholarly communication issues on our campus, we realize that the libraries don't know a lot about where people are publishing. So we need to start capturing this data. And we have an idea of trying to collect what would be a campus, an institutional bibliography or a bibliography for the UW-Madison. And it's easy, right? We have people. These are my people. These are all faculty members in the electrical and computer engineering departments, and I'm their subject liaison. So I'm really great at going out and talking directly to these people and telling them about library services. And of course, we have a campus directory, so I can get all the data that we have on campus about these people. They produce citations. Citations love to be managed in citation management tools, right? That's what's excellent. So here's a whole bunch of citations I've captured for one faculty member inside of RefWorks. Once I have those citations, I want to see how much I can put into the institutional repository, and that's when I use Sherpa Romeo, which tells me what I can and cannot do with a paper. Here you see the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. They have an amazing green stance. They say we must use the publisher's copy if we put it into the institutional repository, and that's amazing, right? College of Engineering produces a large number of papers through IEEE, so we know we can find those and put them into the repository. Here's our DSpace instance, straight out of the box. Here's the recipe for the mashup then. All of these ingredients come together and create something that looks like this. We're going to do a little bit more demoing later, but you can get the idea, right? What it really is, I want to tell you about the numbers first before we do demos. We've captured 12,000, just over 12,000 unique citations out of the College of Engineering and from the School of Nursing. From those citations, we've used that Sherpa Romeo data to know that we have somewhere about 2,700 papers that are ready to be archived. And that's an incredible number. It represents 9 different departments on campus, 257 people right now at this instance, and it's a little piece of what is, the UW-Madison, so we still have a lot of place to grow. Most of this work was done by a great organization on campus that specializes in document delivery. They did searching through library databases. They have contacts with departmental members. They found these citations, and it took a really small time to do this, right? To capture all of the citations for the College of Engineering, 30 hours of lifetime, 80 hours of student work. It's not much at all when we're trying to put together a package like this. And it's going to have a big impact here at University of Wisconsin-Madison. Here's a look at the CIC. These are other institutions that UW-Madison tries to position itself around. We see that Michigan has really gone to the moon, and they have an amazing number of items. We don't have that many. This is our current version. Once we take all of those items that we've found that are ready for archiving, we're going to look more like this, 4,600. So this project has been really successful really quickly to do this. We're going to go ahead and do a demo, and Nate's going to lead that.
Okay, so a great point that Karen made yesterday was there's no such thing as a free kit. All these projects take some amount of time to manage, set up, to get started. So I'm going to do a little Web 2.0 friendly screencast here showing you exactly what it will take to nurse this kitten to life in, well, one example institution. So I'm just going to go out and assume that you can run Rails now. It's written in Rails, live with it, or write the code yourself again. There are a few gems you have to install, that's out of scope, make sure your database is working right. And we're going to do this for the guys at UIUC, because they're friendly. So let's just start the screencast. We set up the database, build all the tables. If you've used Rails before, this should be second nature. If not, don't worry about it. Okay, so that runs, and now we have a bunch of database tables created. And we're going to set up LDAP because importing a bunch of directory data by hand is really hard. It's a lot of work. And UIUC has an LDAP server that we can connect to from a coffee shop in downtown Athens. All right. So now we have Rails running. Again, out of scope, and you can see here there's nobody in the database at all. We create an account. By the way, the security here is merely for show. If you ever run this, download the code, you want to protect this behind a firewall and probably real, like, Apache authentication. We'll build a security framework on, but it's not there yet. Okay, so now we're logged in, and we can create a guy. We're going to find the chair of the Electrical Computer Engineering Department at the University of Illinois. Here he is. We found him off his departmental homepage. He's cute. So we enter his name in here, and as soon as I can type properly, it will find him in the directory. We want to click and use his use this information. We paste the URL to his picture in here. We don't cache those locally yet. You know. Imports a bunch of stuff. LDAP is kind of funny. People format their schemas differently. We'll add a couple of groups. We had these as departments before, but then we had things that weren't really departments. We want to be able to map things like an engine resource center, which is a collaborative group. And so we just flattened everything down into generic groups, and we're hoping that people will be okay with that. Okay, so now we want to add a bunch of papers to it. Say he's the author of stuff. We've done a search in Engineering Village, the kind of premier engineering database. It's friendly in that it will export things in RIS data. If you can do database searching, you can do this stuff. We'll see if a file RefWorks is or Engineering Village is kind enough to give it a really obscure name for me, and not let me change that. Okay, yeah, I've saved that. And I'll head over here, I'll upload this. We accept right now RIS, BibTeX, Medline, and RefWorks is kind of jacked up XML format. And so here it parses all these citation records. It finds when there are duplicate citations with some bugs. At this point, if you have more than one author in the system, it's also computed co-authorships, so you can see who's working with who. This takes a minute because it does a lot of stuff, and we haven't optimized the code at all. It takes, yeah, it's not too bad. Let's get going. Okay, so here's the page. As it stands, you can see there's written a bunch of things for the College of Engineering and ECE. Now we're going to go and collect all that archival data. The Sherpa guys, is there anybody from that project here? Good. Because we're those guys in your web server logs, and I apologize. They have web service, and we really sit on it pretty hard here. We download all the publisher data, and then it goes through every unique ISSN in our system and looks up archival rights, or actually publisher information for that ISSN. It's really inelegant. And as we'll get into later, the Sherpa data has a whole bunch of problems that make it not quite suitable for this. Most notably, it doesn't let you know if you can upload the publisher's copy of a PDF, which is what we want to do because authors don't keep like old Word docs around. So we want to just go to the publisher's website, download the PDF, and put that in the repository. We're very lazy people. This will finish in a timely fashion, I promise. We timed this whole thing like 7 minutes. Okay. That's important. I'm going to just go and flag the American Institute of Physics as one of those really friendly publishers that lets us do that. You have to do this by hand because Sherpa just doesn't model this right. And this little XML statement, don't worry about it right now, it's kind of bogus. It has to be there or we won't generate a DSpace import file, which is how far we're going to go right now. Okay. And as you watch this, you should know there's a whole lot of low-hanging fruit that we have not reached out and grabbed. Oh yeah, here's the page now. You can see there's written a bunch of papers. These subjects come from Engineering Village. This tag cloud that you can see up there at the top. And it's a popular research topic. It appears to be a semiconductor guy. So here, we're using open URLs and we have a link resolver. So we can just grab a PDF from this citation. These all have DOIs, I think, so it's really easy to find the thing you want. That number, that 36, is important. We're going to save this PDF into a special directory, and our code will look in that directory for files with that name, and that's how it does essentially a file to citation mapping. So we save this. We have to rename it because, of course. And here I just click a button to mark it as saved. I don't upload that. It turned out the workflow for that was really unworkable. You just have to save a bunch of files and say, yeah, I've done this, done this, done this. Then you just head over here. It looks for those file names. It finds that. See the citations, prepares the batch. That's really fast. And you can see, when we browse that directory, a standard, very old school style DSpace import package. They're numbered in ascending order, the number of seconds since 1990. But there you go. And that is how that works.
Fun stuff. Okay, we're going to take a look now at what we have here for UW-Madison. Want to go ahead and make a point that this is not live on our campus, and it's not close to being live either. This really is a pilot project that Nate and I are working on, and we do a lot of demoing of it, and we get a lot of people excited on it because we think there should be work like this on our campus.
It's also worth noting that this data set we've been hacking on all weekend, and so our numbers and authors are a little bit different than what they really are in real world.
Yeah, it's a little different in the real world, but if we take a look at this, you can see that, of course, we have a giant tag cloud for everything that we've captured so far in the database. We don't have these images locally. Again, that's a day 2 thing because this is a pilot project, but you would see, a nice look of all these people. You can see what the most popular journal is so far for all of that data we've slipped up so far at the UW. Happens to be physical review letters. Hey, that's an interesting thing to know as a librarian, right? It gets more interesting. So I'm going to go up here. I think everybody should have this on campus, right? Maybe you don't know the name of a person that you want to find, but you know the subject you're interested in. So I'm interested in this device. I didn't know what it was. Nate told me that it's a big donut-shaped thing that they use for plasma research. So I do a search for it, right? And it tells me that, hey, the #1 person at UW-Madison for this particular search is James Callan, 62 citations. He most recently published in 2006 to do this, right? So if I click on that, I go to his homepage. This is what I get to see, right? I get to see all of James's directory information and the groups that he's associated with. If I go over to the right-hand side, I get to see citation types. I can see here that he has 80% journal articles, 20% conference proceedings. It's kind of interesting to see where your people are publishing. I get to see popular research topics for him. I get the number of papers that he's written that have been keyword tagged with plasma transport processes. So, without knowing this gentleman at all, everyone in this room right now has a really good idea of the work that he's done, right? Okay. Big point to make here. I hope everyone understands that. This is copy wrong, right? We did not generate these keywords ourselves. This is proprietary data that comes from these licensed library resources. Oh, shocking. But if you want to create new digital library services, sometimes you play around a little bit and you see what you can put together. If it's important enough on campus, there are other ways to go about getting this data. Generate it yourself or find money to license it, and there's money on campus. The other thing that we get to see is we get to see who he's publishing with at the university, right? That's awesome information. People didn't know this stuff before. So we know that James loves to publish with Gilbert and David Anderson. He publishes with people not only in the College of Engineering, but throughout all these other departments that are inside of the College of Engineering. He has a couple of papers with the Mechanical Engineering Department. I get to see his list of popular publications. He publishes most in physics of plasmas. And popular publishers, way at the bottom, you can see how hard it is to normalize publisher data coming from these differing resources. But you get the sense that he's publishing mostly in AIP journals, which is good for us. More things for our repository, right? Now that I've scrolled really far down this page, you finally get to see a couple of his citations, right? Turns out that everything else surrounding citations is much more interesting than what he's written. We know though that people we know that other people on campus though have some needs, right? If you're in a really large and complex department on campus, you have no idea what other people have published recently. Even though people work down the hall, you can't keep up with that stuff. So there's an RSS feed for people, there's RSS feed for groups as well, so people can begin to understand this. Of course, it's not live. Theoretically, it would be great. So if I have a meeting someday with James and I want to talk to him about copyright issues, I can say, hey James, you did a great job. You produced 56 articles that are green. They are high targets for us to put in the institutional repository. We're going to put the AIP stuff in ourselves, and after that, we're going to talk to you about using copyright addendums and other ways that you can save the copyright for your material. Scroll down, I get to see it by publication. Great. It's fun stuff. I want to quick do a department view so you can get a look at that. Here's electrical and computer engineering. You get the same tag cloud for that group. You can see their popular journals and publishers, interesting things. So once you have a bunch of keyword information and publication years, you can look at a keyword timeline for a department, right? This is current faculty members and researchers in the ECE department that we've captured citations for, and you can slide through this and see how keywords have changed by year. Really fun thing, comes in the software. So you get that idea. The other thing is you can use a little bit of coding and create a dot file. And a dot file shows who's publishing with who. And if we take a look at that then, if you put it into GraphViz or into Tulip, if you're into data visualization, you can see something like this, which, wow, it's amazing. It's really hard to understand what it is, right? So it's more like art. What I want to do with this, I want to print it out really huge. I'm going across the street to the College of Engineering. I'm going to put it in the ECE hallway and say, hey, we know that you write together, but who archives it? Put my contact information on that and get conversations going with as many faculty members as possible. So that's a really fun piece that we have built into this software. And that's all we're going to show. Back to the presentation. Nate's turn.
Okay, so we've been working on this thing for about 8 months now. And at the same time, I'm a systems guy, and he's a real librarian, so he does instruction, reference, and stuff. I manage a computer lab, so again, we're not like prime time with this stuff. The first obstacle we're running into right now is the Sherpa data. It's, again, not perfect. We don't have complete coverage in the College of Engineering. 25% of our ISSNs just don't match anything in their database. That's a pity. Also, green is totally ambiguous. We don't know what that means. It could mean we can archive the publisher's copy. It could mean we could archive some like Word doc. School of Nursing, the picture is way worse. So we're going to look for collaborators to build something better than Sherpa, hopefully. Deduplication. Our deduplication is jacked. We kind of do some weird ISN and title matching stuff. It's ghetto. Name collisions are a huge problem, not just in the programming world, but in the author world. Dave Morgan, a guy who publishes in the College of Engineering on multidisciplinary humanities stuff. That's odd. Morgan D, He's published Orientalism and After and Phase Stability of Nickel Hydrogen. That can't be. Let's see our directory. Oh, there's a whole lot of D. Morgans at the university. Yeah, that's a pity. So I'm going to put this back to Eric. Grant, for your help.
Okay. Hi, so Nate and I have really, I did a presentation on this at Open Repositories 1 month ago. We came back to Madison and we just took a jackhammer to that code that I had mostly written, and Nate helped me take this to a new level. It means that we have a build that we want to share with everybody here. Take this URL down, you can go there immediately, there's a download package there. This is not production ready software, right? But it's ready enough for you to put it down, put it on your local machine, run Rails, give it a test, and then start telling us what's still wrong. We have a $10,000 grant to explore this project at the University of Wisconsin-Madison until August. So you can look for something nearer a stable version, kind of in that time frame. But if you want to collaborate, our contact information is up on this Google code page. And yeah, thanks a lot. We hope to be able to work with many of you.
Totally rock. Yeah, I'm going to just kidnap you and take you back with me. I think we've got time for maybe a question or two while Joan, I think you're up next, will come up and get set up.
You said something with that kitten.
Yeah.
I had a cat.
But
He was a stray,
Is
so
there
I
a
never
public
knew him
demo
as a
of
cat.
that so I can show people without
He was
setting
about
up
one.
myself?
So
no, but I'll give you a screencast.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, if you could mount the screencast.
We'll put the screencast on the thing. That's the Code4Lib site.
That's cool.
So is
The
the
thing.
input, would that be what you just showed us, how you installed this and that kind of stuff?
We might try to do a little more demo of, I haven't talked this over with Eric, I'm going off the cuff. But I'm saying we might do a little more demo of like the features that involve having a lot of people in the database.
That would be good.
That would be great.
Cool.
Are you storing more than just journal citations? Like if you have a music professor who does some sort of music performance, are you doing things like that?
We don't,
I mean, I know you're doing just engineering, but have you thought about other
Yeah, we actually, part of the money that we received on campus is to expand the project past the College of Engineering. We're doing the School of Nursing, the School of Pharmacy, we're doing the med school. We also go to the humanities to do the English department, poli-sci, sociology, and the history department. So we're trying to figure out what obstacles we have to do humanities work where they don't have these really great indexes and places to locate data like this. So try and develop workflows to do that.
Are you indexing any of the articles that you put up there, or are those searches based on the keywords? I don't know where you got it.
Yeah, it's really, you just run a search and it's against any citation data that we've pulled down from a multitude of resources. The major hope is that we can have a directory that points people to those research topics and then also populate mines at UW. The rest of this stuff is like library and Glee. You take it to a meeting and everyone just gets excited.
Okay, thanks a lot.